And we are back with Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. And we are going into the Citadel for Storyteller. I'm so impatient right now. Extremely impatient because I want to see what is happening. As long as he's alright, I'm fine with it. Of course. I want to go. Was he going into the war room or the study? Which I'm guessing is the war room? I don't think it would be our room. But let's go to our room first.
We march ahead.
Might as well. We have to pass it up. It doesn't make sense not. There we go. Storyteller.
Our path leads on.
The storyteller turns to you calmly. Long months have passed, Commander. But even while you were away on the other plane, I could hear your brave heart beating. That sound never stopped for a second. Finian laughed. You're a lively one, Grandpa Elf. Oh, I forgot he called him that. Always finding yourself in the most dangerous spots, but I'm still glad to see you, although you'll be safer tucked up by a fire somewhere. How have things been these past 6 months? We spent the time serving the Queen to the best of our ability, but a week ago, after she announced her decision to proceed with the crusade, many of us came to the conclusion that we could not go with her, because we do not believe that you are truly dead. We humbly declined the honors offered to us and remained here to await your return. It was an easier decision for me than for the others. I had encountered you in the abyss and I knew you were alive, that is true, but not everyone believed me. And then yesterday I had a vision. I was leafing through the pages that you had collected for me, and suddenly I saw the future. Not the future clamoring to be told by the page in my hands, but your future. The future of the person who first brought the page to me. In my vision, you returned from the abyss and marked by new powers that wound. In my vision, you returned from the abyss marked by new powers that wound around you like snakes. Your voice made the earth tremble. People and demons dropped to their knees, and Iomade herself extended you a helping hand. But the only thing you were concerned with were the whereabouts of the banner that the Queen Golfer had taken with her. The storyteller shakes his head. I know what I saw is difficult to believe, but I am in the habit of trusting my visions. Storyteller, you're amazing. Because that's all I care about. That's all I have cared about since we've been in Dresden so far. I care about everybody else, but I want my banner back. So I hurried to the Citadel to lay my hands on some of Queen Galfrey's possessions and tried to discern where she went and where your banner is now. Do you know where she went? It wasn't easy. I see the Queen's future and her past, as if looking through shattered glass. Multiple visions come one after another, distorting the picture. The Queen is in mortal danger, at the crossroads of her fate, and her every step may prove fatal. But I did not give up, and fortune smiled upon me. I touched her goblet and learned where she was leading her army. Her Majesty decided to march for Is. A bold move, one worthy of a queen who is not accustomed to hiding. My. That was indeed a bold move for my dear cousin. No doubt about it, as bold as stepping into a volcano. That place sounds familiar. Can you remind me of the details? Oh, Is. The city that hangs over the abyss? It once was the citadel of legendary rulers, the capital of Socorus, but now demons are tearing it apart, making a mockery of its former glory. 2/3 of its magnificent streets and proud towers have collapsed into the world wound, but the city still holds on, just as Socorus holds on, defeated but refusing to die. We must leave this place. It's time for the final battle for Dresden? The storyteller nods. Yes, your arrival has changed everything. After we lost Dresden, it felt as if the light of hope had left us forever. But you are just like the sword of valor. You are the banner of our victory. There's one more thing. The storyteller pauses for a while. In the shattered fragments that form her fate, I can sense your presence, and I am convinced that the queen could sense it too. No one can say what your next encounter will lead to, but there is one thing I know for certain. Queen Galfrey's fate and yours are tightly intertwined. Oh, freaking course. Of course it is. I feel like if you play anything but Azada and maybe Demon and maybe Lich, you will maybe like Galfrey. But, well, I don't dislike her. She's a means to an end goal. And let's not forget, she has been doing this forever. And then when we made Leeway and she sent us off, she took over. Something she could have done for years. Oh, I was not expecting. I should have checked the other room. Oh no, there are too many of them. Oh, that's us. Who is that? This is useless. We're done for. Are you serious? We don't give up hope like that. Don't fall back. Hold the line. Go look up all our people. Orangafta, a huge, oily, Nafishni is waiting for you with his arms folded. Here comes the commander. Here comes the commander, kids. So, Commander, do you like what you see? You've arrived just in time to hear your friends screaming for help. They trusted you, and look what happened to them. So, do you really think you can rescue them? Ha! Who do you think you are? Who sent this army here, you beast? We all serve our masters. Lord of the Labyrinth, he promised us Dresden and your kin as a doormat. Oh, so Baphomet sent him here. I guess he did make him mad. I'll rescue my friends. The Nafishni burst into laughter. I'll rescue my friends? And how exactly do you do that, you pathetic Galarian maggot? What do you do on your own without your army? Yeah, inspirational speeches. Oh no, I'm so scared. And then other pathetic defenders of Dresden will be inspired and turn into an invisible force? Yes, that's usually how it goes in fairy tales. Do you know what happens next in real life? We'll wipe your army out, and you along with it. But I won't kill everyone. I'll lock you in a cage, then start torturing your friends. Once I'm done with them, they will come and spit in your face. They'll tell you themselves what torment you doomed them to. You are just a jumped up mortal insect. You are nobody. Dragon. Ooh, we can choose Legend, Azada, a dragon. If we choose Legend, do we lose Avu? And it's kind of spoilery, but I need to know. Because I know with Dragon, with the Gold Dragon one, I believe you lose Avu. And I'm not losing Avu. he semi-communicates with the other gold dragon. Um, you know what? We're staying Azada, I guess. Legend, we would make a great legend. Let's be lit, but I am the wind of change. Let's see. I am immortal. I am the commander of Fifth Crusader. My destiny. I don't know if I believe the destiny bit, but what would this one be? I am a gold dragon. My heart is full of compassion, but my spirit is relentless. I will allow those who want to leave to go in peace. Those who will stay, I will have to destroy. I am the wind of change. You shouldn't have tried to stand in my way. That's perfect for us. Azada. Again, power rushes through your body, almost ripping it apart. The wound in your chest bursts open in a spray of bloody droplets. The might bestowed upon you by the abyss and the rule of Vorlesh erupts into this world, and you pay for it in the purest agony. Ooh! The echo of your voice rolls over the streets of Dresden, spreading hope, spreading beyond the city, soaring up into the air, and is answered by a chorus of voices that seems to reverberate in every street and alleyway. But is it really just an echo, or perhaps these are indeed the voices of your friends rushing to help after hearing your call? Let's go. The wound with a lot of blood. What? Is that the people from our sky? Or from our little floating island? Please don't have the kids here. They're supposed to be training. Are they just... They just want to stand in the back. Oh! There are some crusaders on the ground, though. There. I'm surprised Land's still here. It didn't run off. Face two great entities and make your choice. Iomade? Oh, her picture. Ugh. Really? Really? I don't dislike her, she just seems very righteous. An incredible silence suddenly descends over the city. It is broken by the solemn sound of fanfares that seem to come from far away, everywhere and nowhere all at once. All eyes turn to the huge stained glass window of the city's main cathedral. It begins to glow with a soft light, and in the next breath, a lone figure steps out of the glass into the cobblestone of Dresden.
Knight Commander, at last we meet.
There is no mistaking her. Iomedae. What? Oh, okay. The goddess who has deigned to descend to the world of mortals. Your companions shield their faces, unable to withstand her radiance. The surviving demons quiver. The townsfolk fall to their knees, but the deity's eyes are on you and you alone. Listen up. She has been watching this go on forever and decided now. Well, technically, she intervened with Galfrey, and then. You know what? Oh wow, look, everyone is that sounds so skitsy. I'm not bending a knee, that's for sure. Light of the sword.
And I greet you, Knight Commander. I suppose you're asking yourself why I am here. Gods must not interfere directly in the affairs of mortals. But what is happening here, in the World Wound, is no longer the concern of mortals alone. And this is proof. This fortress has witnessed so many horrors and miracles. It makes me wonder how it still stands.
For a moment, the goddess averts her eyes from your face and looks out over Dresden, surveying the chaos caused by the recent battle and the manifestation of your power.
Goodness and the light of hope are not unknown to you, but you mix them with recklessness. And the power that feeds this recklessness is dangerous.
Wait, wait. You didn't interfere the first time Dresden was taken over, the second time, the third, well, all those times. You didn't interfere when we were lost in time, didn't interfere with any of this, but you interfered because you don't like our power.
You have achieved victory by uniting outcasts and pariahs. But where are you leading them? And what will your beautiful promises of freedom cost you? But I did not come here to reproach you, or to bewail the fate of the unfortunate defenders of Dresden.
I'm liking you less of less.
I wish to stop the forces of evil and defend Golarion, both from Daskari's violent rage and from Nocticula's insidiousness. But that is not my only goal. I have come here to restore justice, for justice is the birthright of all. That's why I hail you as a heroine who has triumphed over the demons many times. At the same time, I grieve for you, as for a soul that is caught in a web of demonic deceit and villainy.
You're right. We're in front of a lot of people. I'm not doing one. Achieve more in your crusade than any. I like the beginning of that. I've achieved more in my crusade than any of the other crusaders achieved in 100 years. So if you think you're going to criticize me for using my power, think again. Pin it. Let's keep it. Let's see. Concern. Let's. Oh, I like 3. Maybe I did acquire my powers from dubious source, but I'm not saying that in front of all these people. Okay. Such heartwarming concern, because she's working my nerves. Such heartwarming concern for me. Now, let's be honest. What is your real reason for coming here?
My reasons are as I have told you. I am no demon. I do not lie and cheat. Of that sin, I am most certainly innocent. In that moment, when my poor Herald was being torn apart by monsters, He found the strength to send me a message about what he had learned in the Abyss. You were in Elutionera, where you spoke with the Lady in Shadow and the Architect of the World Wound. They confessed what they had done to you, but they did not reveal the whole truth. Both you and this unfortunate world will have to pay dearly for the power that they so generously bestowed upon you. But all is not yet lost. That is why I have come.
The walls of Dresden shake again. Nocticula! And with a ringing laugh, a black shadow appears before the shining goddess. Nocticula in the flesh. Standing beside her is Arilu Vorlesh, who stares at the goddess with ice-cold rage in her eyes. I love her voice actor.
Who here has been taking my name in vain? Ah, it's you, the Inheritor. What's this? Our worst fears have come to pass. The gods are flocking to Golarion. This merry little tinderbox could ignite at any moment, reducing the material plane to dust.
The succubus makes Iomede's title sound like an elegant insult.
I did not come here to fight.
Oh, really? I didn't realize you were good for anything else. Forgive me, that was unfair of me. Judging by your successes over the last 100 years, fighting is not your forte. After all, the wound is still there, as far as I know.
Yep.
So why are you here? If you have come to meddle in my affairs, don't expect me simply to stand aside.
The party's really getting started now. What'll be next? Who'll be next to arrive? Kate and Kellyan, perhaps.
The two of us will be more than enough. Listen to what I have to tell you. If she wishes to be present for this conversation, so much the better. Do you hear me,
Well, she's
Nocticula?
floating.
You and your servant are under no obligation to leave. I have come here to shed the light of truth. Let us see if you both can withstand its merciless radiance. I cannot change the flow of mortal history by force. After all, the World Wound is their doing, although committed at the behest of the Abyss. But sometimes force is unnecessary, and truthful words are all it takes.
The goddess who was mortal not so long ago is eager to judge us for our sins now. My sin, to be precise. What lies behind your eagerness, proud Iomade? Righteous wrath? Or perhaps fear? Watch out. A simple mortal woman has learned how to grant powers to others. Powers which are beyond the wildest dreams of many Imperial lords. This must be stopped, forbidden, taken away immediately. After all, what need will we have for all these arrogant gods once we become their equals?
Arilu smiles coldly.
Silence. It is impolite to interrupt your elders. But you know, Inheritor, she does have a point. What are you going to do now? Break my weapon, which has made so many victories possible, and only because she received that weapon from my profane hands, and the entire affair must therefore be profane also? What real reasons do you have? Save those born of your envy, your capriciousness, and your suspicions?
Nauticula's cold gaze makes Arilu press her lips into a thin line.
My reasons are quite real, as you well know. That is why you appeared here in such haste, is it not? You have woven a delicate lace of half-truths, Nocticula. From you and your servant, the Knight Commander has learned that she is bound to the World Wound, that she is slowly dying because of its influence,
Really learned that?
and that she is yet capable of closing it. But you withheld a crucial piece of information. You never told her that closing the wound won't save her from death. For this lock will destroy the key to which it is bound. The one who closes the world wound will die along with it.
Fury reigns in the voice of the goddess.
That is true. I tried to tell you back in Illusionera, but I was not allowed to. It is an unavoidable consequence of this process. To stitch two planes together as I have stitched Golarion and the Abyss, the soul of a mortal must be woven with the essence of the Abyss. To undo this seam, the original soul, the key, must be ripped apart. No one could survive such a process.
Arula's voice sounds almost indifferent. She doesn't look at the furious goddess. Her eyes are glued to you. Well, now, I'm starting to finally understand the rules of this game.
Yes. The power that Nahindrian crystals grant you will bring about nothing but your own demise. The branches of the Tree of Sin are vast and verdant, but its only fruit is death. You will not be able to save yourself unless you reject everything that has been foisted upon you. Now you know everything.
No, we're not quite finished with the revelations yet. Few secrets remain to be revealed, but they will be worth the wait.
Arula's voice rings with surprising, somewhat barrel delight.
Does this look familiar? Do you remember the similar wound above your own heart? I have given you enough hints. Come on, ask me the question I have been waiting for.
With a flick of the witch's wrist, something changes in the air, as if a veil has fallen, one so thin that it was almost invisible, but which had clouded your vision nonetheless. Now you can see what was hidden before. A deep open wound above Arulu's heart. The wound pulsates as blood drips from it. Oh, that's freaking cool. Look at that. I received my wound because you, Arulu, implanted the essence of the abyss in my soul, which you expanded the world with. My question is, why do you have a similar wound? Could it have been because you used your own power? Your own soul as a key when you first opened the world? Oh, I'm happy that it's actually our knowledge, not the group's.
That's right. And this means that the world wound actually has two keys.
A smile dawns on Arulu's face, approving and triumphant.
Good question. Just imagine. I have wasted so much time chasing the key to the world wound, and the key was right under my nose this whole time. Arilu, my love, come over here.
Oh, Nautical looks at Arulu with fresh eyes, predatory curiosity written on her face. She's not about to go to you. She is not stupid. Arulu does not look like someone who has been cornered. Without a trace of fear, she gives you a faint nod and then makes a barely decipherable gesture with her hand and disappears as if she was never even there.
Wait, I said wait! That little bitch. I knew she would betray me sooner or later, but I never expected such an idiotic stunt.
She smiles at you sweetly.
But everything seems to be falling into place quite nicely. You see, you don't have to die after all. Arilu opened the world wound, and Arilu will be the one who closes it, whether she likes it or not. Although, someone will need to catch her first, and this will require certain powers.
Yes, Arilu Vorlesh will pay for her crimes with her life. Her flight confirms that our suppositions were correct. But now we know that the world wound can be sealed with her blood. You have no reasons to remain indebted to the Abyss and indulge the Queen of the Succubi. Reject her gift, and secure your victory while being the person you were before Arilu Vorlesh corrupted you. Win as a mortal, and become a legend among mortals.
Before I please have an option where we can ask her when she's gonna give up her goddesshood. Please.
She's talking rubbish. True, we gave you the power, but it was you who chose how to wield it. It belongs to you, and it will remain yours, so you can do whatever you want with it. But first, you must use it to close the world wound. You aren't going to catch this world's most powerful witch, and a half-demon one at that, with your bare hands, are you?
Both the goddesses and the demon lord stares at you not expectantly. Let's ask Santika some questions first.
If you have questions, ask away.
Why did you try to hide the fact that closing the world wound would kill me?
Because if I'd told you the truth, you would have refused to do it.
Give you a sweet smile.
But you're not angry with me, are you? After all, everything has worked out perfectly fine. We found another key. So now you can live and enjoy your life. Provided that you catch Aurilu, of course.
Aurilu deliberately led us to the idea that she was a key too. Why?
Apparently, she understood that her secret was about to be revealed anyway, so she decided to leave in style. What human female over 100 years old wouldn't feel flattered at being the center of attention? Although she could have other reasons. She obviously wanted us to understand everything and immediately rush off in pursuit of her. She's probably been preparing for a war of all against all for a long time. And now she wants to wage it on her own terms. Expect treachery and traps wherever you go.
Do you really plan to use me to become a goddess yourself?
That is nothing but the wild speculation of a little girl who gained celestial power through no merit of her own and now fears that others may do the same,
Fair.
forcing her to share her place in the spotlight. Do I want to become a goddess? Of course I do. Who wouldn't? Can you help me with that? Sadly, no. Of course, Aurilu used to blather on about how her brilliant invention could bake gods like pies. But between you and me, the cleverer the inventor, the larger their ego becomes. So far, she hasn't managed to create anything stronger than you. And no offense, but you're no match for any deity.
Now that we've decided to use Aurilu to close the world, where could she have fled to?
No, let's think. She's hidden in the abyss before. She won't dare to return there now. Not only to my realm, but to any other either. Even if Baphomet and Discari both take it upon themselves to guard Aurilu personally, that won't stop me from sneaking in, slitting her throat, and leaving undetected. And she knows that. If I were her, I would hide in a place where the powers of her enemies were uncertain, and her own power was close to unlimited. I say you should look for her here, in the World Wound.
Now that you decided to use Aurilu, close the world wound, do you still want me to keep the powers I acquired from
Of
her?
course I do. Firstly, you'll need those powers to catch Aurilu and bring her to Threshold. Surely you don't think she'll willingly fall into your hands, and the demonic hordes will politely make way for you. And secondly,
Flash of the predatory grenade.
the powers Aurilu gave you protect you from dying before your time. None of us want the wound to kill you prematurely. You are extremely useful to me alive. After all, if you let Aurilu slip through your fingers, we can always go back to the original plan for closing the wound.
Are you afraid to stand in the presence of Iomedae?
Tut tut, how rude! I wouldn't say the girl is that hideous. I admit her face is far from perfect. Her body too, to be honest. But all in all, not bad. I've seen worse.
Particular point when he looks Iomedae up and down.
Your theatrics are too transparent to offend me, demon. At least, they can hardly offend me more than the very fact of your existence.
No more questions.
Very well. It's time for you to make your decision then.
Let's ask Iomedae.
Ask, and you shall have your answers.
What happened to your herald?
My herald, my loyal companion, was captured, and now demons are using him to attack Drazin. They're holding him in the Ivory Labyrinth, Baphomet's realm of the Abyss. It is a place I cannot go, not even to save my faithful friend. For doing so would start an interplanar war.
Deep grief flashes across the goddess's stern face.
Right now, as we speak, Baphomet's servants are torturing the hand of the Inheritor. Tormented and anguished, he reaches for you with his thoughts and his soul. I cannot tell if he sees you as a great unfulfilled hope or a last chance. but Baphomet knows well how to exploit such desperate yearning. He has turned my herald into a source of power to open temporary portals. They do not last long, but they lead from the dungeon where the hand of the Inheritor suffers, right to your doorstep. Baphomet does not need to lead his armies through the rifts. Now he can send them right here. As long as my poor herald remains in the hands of that monster, this will not stop. I cannot say if it is still possible to save him, or if putting him out of his misery is the only way. I cannot openly ask you to intervene. But if you decide to do so, you will be helping both yourself and the one who chose the martyr's path when he followed you into the abyss.
You imprison an entire host of angels inside the Warstone. Why?
Every one of my angels volunteered for that mission. They all knew what kind of watch they were going to keep. They knew that it would be a hard and exhausting battle, but that the lives of mortals throughout Golarion would depend on it. Alas, angels' minds can be as fragile as the minds of mortals. In less than 100 years, many wavered and wished to break the oath they had sworn. I do not blame them. I blame myself for allowing them to take on a burden that was too heavy for them.
But you never took it from them. You let them continue in that Wardstone. Did you send your herald to follow me, or did he go on his own free will?
He acted on his own noble impulse, and I did not stop him. I also did not try to dispel his misconception about you being my chosen one. I do not lie, but both celestial beings and mortals can be mistaken.
She doesn't lie, sure. She merely withholds some of the truth. For the noblest of reasons, of course.
The demon grins. There was one. So why didn't you do anything to dispel this misunderstanding?
At first, I did not know who you were, or where your powers originated. This was revealed to me only when my herald offered up his dying prayer from the depths of the abyss. And following his desperate plea, I sought to confirm my suspicions. Until that point, I had observed you without intervening. After all, your crusade was securing victories, the first Golarion had seen in many years. So even if it was not I who had sent you into battle, it felt unfair to undermine you.
In other words, our Imperial guest had no problem with your power, as long as she didn't know where it came from. She didn't even share her suspicions with her own herald. And after all that, someone dares to claim that demons are the most deceitful creatures?
You should not blame someone else if you base your accusations on vague suspicions rather than solid proof. You call my behavior deceitful. You, of all creatures, who kept the commander ignorant of the fate you had chosen for her? Indeed, the insolence of demons knows no bounds.
You gained your power, your own power from the Starstone. How is my power any different?
My ascension was not accomplished in one day, and even the test of the Starstone was only one of its stages. I did not merely gain power. I embraced a sacred duty. Your power, on the other hand, stems not from long hours of study, not from trials. It is not the natural talent you were born with and carefully honed throughout your life. It is the result of an evil soul's deranged experiment with the blood of dead abyssal lords.
Okay, so why do you think? Why did Arulu do everything possible to lead us to the idea that she was the key too?
The impulses that drive a soul as black as hers are beyond my comprehension. Perhaps she was startled by my arrival and decided not to bother keeping a secret that was bound to be revealed. Or perhaps she is up to some cunning scheme. Be on your guard. The architect of the World Wound will surely try to bring you down. For if she truly is a key, then it must mean that she will die sooner or later, due to the influence of her own horrible creation. And that means that sacrificing you is her only chance of survival.
Why have you decided to descend to the world of mortals at this particular moment?
As I have already said, I am here to open your eyes to Nocticula's lies and to prevent more calamities in the future. You are at a crossroads now. I will not force you to do anything, but you needed to learn the truth and have the chance to cleanse yourself.
A demon lord stands before you. Why don't you destroy her right here and now?
I could. But then every other demon lord would decide that he or she was next and stand against me. In response to that, the Imperial Lords would take up arms. Then Hell, Heaven, and Elysium would join the conflict. A war would break out, one which mortals could not hope to survive.
I'm not saying this at all. No more questions?
It is time to make your decision then.
I want to ask my companion.
Perhaps your power came from the abyss. That your beautiful soul has cleansed it of all evil. Don't reject this power, for you have already proved that you are worthy of it.
Where's Ember? There's no way Ember's kneeling. I have no idea. This them? This is Darren, that is Selah. I'm guessing this is Regil. Soul Steel, Ninio, Greybor, Rushaway.
Being around you is so much fun. The whole world is ablaze. War is raging, but even those who are on the verge of dying smile when they see you. This power is good. Perhaps it was evil before, but you have made it good. Don't throw it away.
Thank you.
As a cave monster who's going to grow old and die in about 10 years' time, I can tell you this. There's no power in the world that's worth selling yourself out to the abyss for. Being the invincible companion of the magical commander was fun and all, but we don't need it. It doesn't really matter how much magic they've heaped on you. You're the commander because you have the heart and mind of a true commander. Screw your power. Don't betray yourself. That way, we'll win.
That's why I don't want to give it up.
I don't see any reason for deliberation. Your power is chaotic and capricious, and it originates from a demonic source. I doubt you can even control it. Heed the words of the goddess. Reject it. And then we will hunt down Aurelian Vorlesh and deliver the punishment she deserves.
It's not my place to gainsay the will of my goddess, but the thing is, I can sense evil. And I don't sense it in your power at all. I just don't. Whatever those horned monsters had planned for you, you definitely aren't playing by their rules.
Thank you, Selah. Thank you. She looks a little confused, but her voice is firm.
You gave hope to the Crusaders in their darkest hour, even when all seemed lost and only despair and death lay ahead. With these powers, you've saved countless lives, and you will save more. Of course you must keep them.
So far only Lan and... I'm about to say Greybor and Regil.
Someone pinch me. We are standing in the presence of the most pompous goddess in the world, debating whether we should listen to her or send her packing along with her invaluable opinions. I shall remember this moment for the rest of my life. Even as I stand in Pharasma's court, I shall tell this story to anyone who will listen. As for your question, by all means, tell her to go to the abyss. The power is yours, and yours alone.
I hate it when they corner you and demand answers out of you. But fine, I'll tell you what I think.
He glances a sideways glance at Iomade and winces.
With you, I've always had my freedom, Chief, so I'll speak freely. Be who you are and don't count on gifts from nobody. You gave me the same advice back in Alashanira, remember? And I've never
I
regretted
did.
following it. Maybe you won't have the powers you had before, but do you really need somebody's permission to do what you want to do? That's what it's all about.
All right.